Okay, so as you guys can tell by the title, in this video we're going to be talking about why the next arc of One Punch Man might be one of the most important arcs in the series, and what to expect, and why this next arc could be one of the best arcs in the series as well. So of course there's quite a lot of stuff to talk about in this video, so if I don't cover everything, then I might make a part 2 depending on how well the video does, etc, etc. So of course, before we get into the video, make sure you leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you are new, because if you can't already tell, there's a plethora of One Punch Man content on this channel, and if you like One Punch Man, then I guess this place is probably the best place for you to be at the moment. But anyway, let's just get into the video. Now, starting off with, I guess we're gonna have to start off with a spoiler warning, because if you are a manga only, then this video will be containing some pretty light spoilers, I guess. But anyway, the next arc of One Punch Man, for all my webcomic readers know, that is going to be called the Neo Heroes arc. Now, this arc, I guess, is probably one of my currently probably like my favorite arc in the series, because it's more focused on, I guess, the Hero Association, because we haven't actually had a whole arc that's centered around the Hero Association and just the inner workings of it, etc, etc. And also I feel like this arc is starting to really set up the end game of the series properly, because I feel like the arcs before this, don't get me wrong, they were setting up the end game, but it was not as obvious as the Neo Heroes arc, because as we've seen that there's a lot more key figures, and since like a lot more theories has been dropping out and all of that good stuff, people are starting to connect the dots about how the end of the series might play out. So again, this arc is very crucial in terms of that, and I feel like introducing new characters like Blue is also really cool, because I guess since he is allegedly Blast's son, I guess we kind of have a replacement for Blast when Blast isn't here, if that makes any sense, because in the webcomic we know that Blast actually hasn't made an appearance yet. So I guess having Blue here is kind of a good placeholder, because I feel like a lot of people are really interested about who Blast is and what his powers are, and just what exactly is Blast, or what is he all about. That's what people want to know. So the fact that we have Blue, his alleged son, kind of keeps that interest at like an all-time high for people to, I guess, still be thinking at the back of their heads, like just so we basically don't forget about Blast, because since Blast in the webcomic hasn't made an appearance since ever, I guess it makes sense that we will, I guess, have like a little bit of a replacement for him, just to keep the hype up. And also I feel like the Neo Heroes arc is also a very good arc, because I feel like it's a good way to just kind of, I guess, move on from the Monster Association arc, because as we all know, the Monster Association arc is probably one of the best arcs in the series, or for me personally, I feel like it's probably the second best, or maybe even the first best, or it depends on how you want to see things. It's all down to opinion at the end of the day. But I feel like this arc is a good, like, I guess a good way to move on from this arc, because the Monster Association arc was very high in action. A lot of stuff happened. Garo was the main villain. Garo is like a really popular figure in the One Punch Man fan base, so I feel like it was a good way to kind of, like, I guess, take a step back and just kind of, I guess, reset everything, because I feel like, for the people that don't know, the Neo Heroes arc isn't going to cover anything to do with Garo, really. Well, from what we've seen so far, we've only seen a tiny bit of Garo, and that's pretty much it. I'm not too sure if he's going to, I guess, make another appearance in this arc, but I feel like this Neo Heroes arc is just kind of a way to just tell the fan base that we aren't going to see Garo for quite a while, because as I said before, he is like a fan favorite character, and if Garo isn't on screen, I'm guessing a lot of people may lose interest in the series. But I feel like this Neo Heroes arc is doing this on purpose for you to, I guess, kind of appreciate the other characters instead of, people like Garo, for example. A lot of, I guess, background characters start to take, the forefront of everything, and they start to actually, gain some importance. Like, just for example, we have like some characters like Chowder Emperor, Zombie Man, Metal Knight. They all are a lot more important than you guys think, and especially Zombie Man, because a lot of people might see Zombie Man as kind of like a background character that isn't very important, but once we get to the Neo Heroes arc, he's gonna play some pretty huge roles, in my opinion, especially in the future arcs of the series. And obviously we know that Metal Knight is a very important character, so he's also going to play a pretty huge role in the future of the series. So just those three characters, and also Child Emperor, just those three characters are pretty good examples as to, like, I guess, why this Neo Heroes arc is a pretty good way to, I guess, show the audience that these characters are also pretty important to the story. Because I feel like, once again, characters like Orochi, Garo, you know, all these like crazy strong characters have kind of, I guess, taken the entire attention of the fan base, which makes sense because at the end of the day they are the like coolest characters. They have crazy abilities. But I guess, once again, Neo Heroes arc is a way to just take a step back from that. Don't get me wrong, we do have some pretty cool characters with crazy abilities like Blast, you know, Blast Sun, Blue. We have like new characters that join the Neo Heroes, etc, etc. And I feel like this arc also dives into, I guess, like a more villainous side of, I guess, the entire story. We start getting introduced to some pretty huge figures that we never knew actually existed, like, for example, Mr. Fuzzy. And, you know, we start to get introduced to characters, I guess, that could end up being like some of the most important villains, like Drive Knight and, you know, the Hero Association. And all of that stuff is going to be explained later on in the series, I'm pretty sure, because even us as readers don't know exactly who the main villains are, but we have kind of a good idea of who they could be, if that makes any sense. And of course, in terms of, I guess, the action side of things in the Neo Heroes arc, the Neo Heroes arc is pretty high action in my opinion. I feel like it's definitely not as high action as the, you know, the Monster Association, but it's still good enough. Like, I'm sure people will definitely enjoy this arc a lot, don't get me wrong. I feel like maybe the start of the arc may be a bit slower for some people, but it does pick up in terms of the pace and everything. And as I said, it's pretty important in terms of like the plot of the story. And yeah, I feel like this arc is gonna be like one of those arcs that people aren't going to like at first, but later on they start to warm up to it, and they, you know, they start to really realize how important and how good this arc is. Because that was me for some time. At the start of the Neo Heroes arc, I was kind of like, do I really like this arc? Is it as good as, you know, many people said it was? Since I was kind of, you know, I was catching up to the webcomics, so everyone else was in front of me, and they were like, oh, the Neo Heroes arc is so good. But, you know, the start of the arc was a tiny bit slow, but as I said before, it picks up at the end. So yeah, I'm pretty sure you guys are gonna like this new arc. But apart from that, that's pretty much all I have to say for this video, to be honest. I'm pretty tempted to make a part 2 because there's quite a few things I did miss out. But, you know, as I said before, if you guys do want to see another part to this as to why this arc is one of the most important and best arcs in the series, then make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you are new. And apart from that, I will see you in my next video.